Sandy Beach TSS. And that's the amount of deposit, which is a particulate of sedimentation. In the sedimentation itself, it limits the amount of water that you can take into the water treatment plant. And this is what the survey that I saw by Krippenberger in Germany. The sedimentation is what you actually saw when you lowered it 3 meters, 10 feet. It landed at that level. Not only did I see, there are other experienced men who are pilots who live around there, who essentially are able to judge distances and dimensions. They saw the 10 feet, they saw the bottom of the siltation. Now in that siltation, if you take off the 10 feet that was, 10 feet that was drawn down, and you look at the difference, the amount of sedimentation is over 50%. And that's just enough, it's very uneven, so there was just enough water to be able to handle the water treatment plant. And I think that there's quite a big difference in the amount of sedimentation that relates to what Professor indicated in 32, it prevented the flood. And I happen to have the original drawings of Forest Nations, 1933, as notes of the dimensions of the topography. So that has never been done by Krippenberger. And so you say you're having it done again, you're probably using the same consultant. And you're going to get the same results from the same surveyor. Now the other thing is regarding the element of, was it you who related to Water Smart? I can't remember who related to that. One of you related to Water Smart, the corporation being funded by the province on the elements of judging how to measure the conditions that cause flooding. And their study, which is a $33 million study, they had 40 engineers involved. The first paragraph says you can never prevent flooding. It's just the opposite. You can prevent it by storing it upstream. You have different levels of storage upstream. Similar to what in the O originated in 03 and 06 with Max Aiken and R.B. Bennett.
We do love you, but we've heard you for 5 minutes, and
But you're done?
I'm asking you as a participant.
Charles, you've done a great job of asking a question and answering a question.
Yeah.
So let's give Charles a round of applause. Thank you so much, Charles. All right, we're going to get Charles the next panel. We're going to get him on the panel as well. Richard, you have the privilege of being a convener of one final question.
I can throw in one quick one. When I was first in Calgary, I was given to understand that Calgary Power, who then had the dams around Canmore and upstream from Calgary, had an obligation not only to generate electricity, but to help limit floods. Thus, presumably to impound water rather than sending it down to Calgary when it was inconvenient to do so. Did they do their absolute maximum this time around?
How do I answer that question?
There's now TransAlta's obligation to
What I can say is what I said previously is that we work with TransAlta. They have multiple reservoirs upstream. What I do know, because I was in the emergency operating center through the event at night, and we worked with TransAlta through that event to try and get them to reduce the flow through Calgary as quickly as they could. What I do know is that they sustained some damage to their infrastructure up in the watershed that maybe limited it a little bit, but we worked together so that we could make sure that the flow was as low as it could be through the event and also got drawn down as quickly as it could following the event. That is something that will be on the table for discussion. Are there some operating things that we can do that TransAlta could do that could help us more? But it's not an easy question to answer. They have a complex system upstream.
And one which they derive, money from as well, right? So there might be some elements of, do you have to buy the water off them? But if you're right, it's just going to get replaced. Right? So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon Elaine Yost, the Secretary of the Board and Calgary Leadership Forum, and she would, on your behalf, like to acknowledge our presenters.
Thank you so much, Brian. One of the goals of the Calgary Leadership Forum is to provide opportunities to inform, educate, and improve the quality of life for the citizens of Calgary. And I think this afternoon we've had a perfect demonstration of that. A tradition of the Calgary Leadership Forum is to acknowledge and thank the panelists who have provided us with such a rich diversity of information by acknowledging them through Operation Eyesight International. So on behalf of the Calgary Leadership Forum, I'd like to let David Atkinson know that on his behalf we have Travis, a 40-year-old man who's had his eyesight restored because of your participation today. For Dr. Jerry Osborne, we have Gaudo, who's a 60-year-old female who's had her sight restored. And to Emma, we have Mary, who is 82, who has had her sight restored. So on behalf of all of us, we'd like to thank you so much for your participation. There will be a special recognition for our distinguished convener, Richard Westbury. And I'd like to thank you all for opening our eyes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elaine. And while we're on the subject, I've made it a tradition to acknowledge all of our presenters. You know, I earn my living teaching customer service and patient satisfaction in healthcare. And I've written a book called Satisfaction Guaranteed, How to Satisfy Every Customer Every Time. And my definition of customer service is consistently meeting expectations, and I would say you've all done that for us, so thank you so much. Some light reading, just don't read it when you're tired and you have to drive at night, or you're going to be in trouble. Alana, did you have a final comment you'd like to make on behalf of the province?
I would just say thank you very, very much for all coming out and putting some urgency to this issue. And that is the thing that we have started very well. We have started very well in terms of moving forward with this issue, of putting the pieces in place so that we do keep moving forward. But it's people like you, okay, who speak up. It's people like you who actually do hold our feet to the fire. And I would like to say thank you and thank you again. But this isn't the end of it. You know, life goes on. Other issues, you know, emerge and become, you know, what appears to be urgent. But this is something that we do, of course, have to keep our feet to the fire on. And by the way, that. So just, you know, do keep our feet to the fire, and if ever you hear that perhaps we won't be, you know, moving forward to making sure that as much as possible we can mitigate this possible floods in the future. If there is ever an indication that this might not be happening, that is actually phone up our government or send a quick email, just so that we know that we have your continuing support to address this issue.
And on that note, emergency follow-up. The committee is going to meet on Tuesday, October 1st at 7 o'clock at our boardroom to prepare our draft recommendations as a follow-up from this event. We intend to release that information October 7th, and as you all know, or if you haven't, you might want to jot it down. The civic election is October 21st, so we definitely want this front and center. I especially want to acknowledge three individuals. I want to acknowledge Dennis Little for his leadership on putting this program together and the policy together. So let's give him a special round of applause. Thank you very much. And our executive director, Dolores Bill, so there's no task too small, and she's just at it all the time. So Dolores, take a bow. Thank you so much. And one great thing we do after every one of these events is we always see the photos uploaded to the website and the videos. And Henry Janik has been taking video, and I hope we're going to be able to provide a link so that you can all see this as well as the public who weren't here. So Henry, thank you so much. And we're indebted to the Calgary Croatian Center. Thank you, Joe, and Rada, and everybody. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, with the words of John Carter, all change fails because of lack of urgency. With that happy note, we are adjourned. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll be in touch.
What's left?